Hi everybody, Tyler Hardy's here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Netflix, Paramount, Warner Brothers deal. I will tell you about the background of this deal, where it's come from. I'll tell you the Netflix side, the Paramount side, and how it affects the future, learning from the past of cinema. So, first of all, Warner Brothers did not succeed for a few years, and were got into a 20 billion dollar debt, and that led to them deciding they need to be bought. And what happened is there was a quiet bidding, which first, as we all know, um, Netflix won by $82 billion, and then Paramount wanted to bid on that, want to bid to buy Warner Brothers, wanted to bid $108 billion. So that's basically what's happened, what's going on. Nothing is official yet. Nobody bought nobody yet, but something will happen soon. So what's going on now? So Netflix, on their side, they will be the largest company with the largest streaming service, with the best quality shows and movies, and owning the DC universe, which will be against the Marvel universe owned by Disney, and they will have that's my a really big power in the streaming service. And also, the bad thing about it, what Hollywood concerned about, is that Netflix will shut down theaters because Netflix will do home releases, or very short period of time of theatrical release, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of theatrical release, and then they will just put the movie in the streaming service once again, and it will take jobs from a lot of creators and a lot of people, and especially in the cinema theaters, because cinema theaters will shut down if it will happen. Now Paramount, what they say, if they buy Warner Brothers, they will do more theatrical release. They will focus on theatrical release. They will let theatrical release happen, and they promise at least 30 theatrical releases a year. And also, it will give them a bigger power to be considerable against Disney or something like this, because they will have so many franchises and so many quality series against them, and they will be a very big competitor, probably the biggest competitor to Netflix, to Disney, sorry, because Disney have theatrical release and they have a very big streaming service, so they will have this much power. So this is the two companies' agendas, and what, how will it affect cinema for real is only the future will tell us how it will affect cinema for real. But in my opinion, it will affect cinema in the short term, not in the long term. And here's why I'll explain it. Because let's say Netflix buys the eventually wins the bidding war and buys Warner Brothers, and theatrical release is very limited for a few movies a year for a very limited time, and eventually, let's be honest, Netflix sometimes their own projects, they're not worth going to the cinema, and because they're not worth going to the cinema, you'll wait home, and sometimes the content they put out is not even worth watching. So eventually Netflix will lose money, and they will need to make bigger movies that will worth going to the cinema, or will be worth watching. And then there's a limit to how much you can ask people to pay for streaming service, especially now when piracy makes a comeback, makes a big comeback. Like I have a few insiders in the industry. Some producers even says like just go watch it on pirate sites, watch their movies even. I won't say names, but there are people saying this in the industry because it's much easier, it's much cheaper, it's more media than Netflix, and you don't need 100 streaming services to watch anything. You can watch anything for free. You don't need to pay for it, and it's very easy. So what will happen in the short term is, yes, cinema will close, where theatrical releases will be limited, movies won't make much money. Netflix eventually will raise prices for the streaming service, but what will happen next is they will have to take these prices down because no one will pay so much to watch a movie because piracy is so much more. It's so much easier. And nobody will pay them. The idea of cheapening movies will eventually bite Netflix back because they're cheapening movies and they don't give them the theatrical release they need. Will eventually show that movies are cheap and they don't need to be watched. They don't need to be. You don't need to pay for a movie, which is not true, but that's what it will show. And Netflix will lose money over time, and then they, in my opinion, they will put back theatrical release and a full release just because they need to lower their prices and they need to make money off the movies they make. Now I know they make a lot of money from the subscriptions, more money a month than any movie can be worth making probably. Now on Paramount side, if they'll buy it, they'll just make more theatrical releases under the name. They will have franchises under the name. They will have a very interesting streaming service. I mean, they have some good stuff right now on Paramount Plus, but they will have even more stuff like let's say White Lotus, which is a really good show. We really like it because it's HBO, and HBO is part of Warner Brothers, in case you didn't know. So yeah, that's how it will affect this, and they will give like 30 theatrical releases, but they'll try to be a very big theatrical releases, and I don't know how much I would trust Paramount with the theatrical release and the home release of things on the streaming service. I don't know how much I will trust it because once they lose money, they can just put the movie on the streaming service. It's mostly be to make their streaming service bigger and more interesting. I don't know how Paramount Plus is interesting right now. They got John Wick on there. I don't know how like other stuff they got on there. I know the Eminem documentary was on there, and it even got a theatrical release for a little while. But that's it. That's what will happen. They promised the theatrical releases. They'll probably make theatrical releases. Probably some mid-budget films. Like we probably gonna see some more mid-budget films. The question is, does a mid-budget film worth going to the cinema for? And that's a very good question. Back in the day, a mid-budget film for like 30 to 50 million dollars could make a 300 million dollars, and it would make its money back and will be worth everybody the time and the money and everything, and everybody enjoys it. But right now, I don't know how much it will do a mid-budget film, especially with the fact that everything is being released for home so fast. Like I remember, I don't know what I don't remember what company owned the rights for the Smashing Machine, the movie that The Rock did on the MMA fighter. I don't know, but I remember that reading after a few weeks that it didn't do good, and I already saw it on piracy, on pirate sites. So yeah, it's very very hard to. So if if a movie does not make it on the first 2 weeks, so that's it. You can put it on the shelf, put it on the streaming service. Now let's learn from the past. In the 50s, home televisions threatened cinemas. It was a very, very big threat to cinema. You can watch films on your home TV. Why would you go to the cinema? There's no reason, technically. And right now, let's be honest. You can buy, probably anybody can buy a 4K TV. If it's OLED or something like this, it's probably bigger. It's probably, may not be bigger, but it's probably give you a better viewing experience, better watching experience than the cinema, because OLED TVs are much better than projectors. Then these days projectors are not much for OLED TVs. If you watch an Onyx screen, you know how good a LED cinema screen is. So yeah, you can get it. You can get a better watching experience. I won't say a better experience overall, but you can get a better watching experience home for I don't know, $600, something like this. I don't know. Depends on the OLED, depends on the TV, depends on the model, depends on the brand. But for probably $600 to $1,000, you can get a very good watching experience, better than the cinema theaters, better than any projector out there. Yeah, and and eventually it failed, because when you watch movie on TV at home, let's be honest, you don't really watch the movie. You don't really watch the movie. Sometimes you check your phone, you go to make something, sometimes you just put a movie to have something in the background. Let's be honest, we all do it, and I do it too. It's okay. We just put something to have something to listen to, something in the background, something to lure the world noise, and something else to focus on. So yeah, we do it, and it's okay. But the reason it won't kill the cinema experience is because it's an experience. Going to the movies is an unmatched experience. Go sitting with your friends, buying popcorn, having these big screens that most people does not have homes, and with the great surround system, and you can have a really good experience. It's so fun. What's better to go watch? Let's say you have a rich friend with a cinema, with a home theater, and I have one, and I still prefer to go to the cinema every time, even if it's with him. If it's with my friend, I prefer to go to the cinema. It's much better experience. It's fun. Recently, I watched Rocky 4 screening. It was a special screening. It was the Stallone version of the movie, and the cinema was almost full, because it's at the cinema. Because you can watch this home. You can find this for free so easily. This version you can buy it, but it's so much better to go to the cinema. It's an experience. You need to understand, cinema sells experience. It doesn't sell a good movie. It doesn't sell better food than you could make home. No, it sells you the experience of going out with your friends, with your family. That's it. That's what it does. And in my opinion, yeah. First, if Netflix will win the bidding war, and buy Warner Brothers, and less movies will get a big theatrical release. They will get mostly a Netflix release, and some will get a limited theatrical release, and they will lose money, or they want to make much money. Eventually, Netflix will raise the prices, understand they're failing, and they will need to put more movies in the theaters to make money, and that's what will happen. Now, another thing I wanna talk to you about, and it includes this, is low budget films. Low budget films right now are much better than most high budget films. I don't know if you watch this year. There's there was Weapons, low budget films, probably mid budget, but low budget films, very good. In the past 10 years, Terrifier films, fucking Terrifier films, fucking had like what? The first one had like $30,000, made like $250,000. The second had like $250,000 budget, made 2 million. The third one had $2 million budget, and made like what, like 90 million. You understand? You don't need to make a big movie to make a good movie, to make a movie that sells. You need to make something new, something original, something that is fun, something that is worth going to the cinema for. And that's what Damien Leone did. He created his own character. He created this Art the Clown, which is so fun to watch and so fun to go to the cinema, watch him murder. And Chris Tuckman. Chris Tuckman films is one of the greatest films I watched this year, just because he put so much heart and love into this movie, and I love this movie. Yeah, it's not a perfect film by any means, but it's such a fun film to watch because it's passion. They make this movie with passion. The best film I watched this year that was a high budget was Predator Badlands, which is just a fun action movie. Yeah, it was just a fun action movie, and it was very good. It was very fun, worth watching in the cinema. But Weapons was better. Together was better. Bring her home, bring her back. I don't remember exactly how it's called, but it was such a good film. And in my opinion, I personally didn't like the P.T. Anderson movie, and I didn't like Begonia, which are pretty mid to high budget films because they have big stars in it. But yeah, I don't know how much this movie did. I know the P.T. Anderson movie break even, but yeah, they weren't. I didn't enjoy going to the cinema for them. I enjoyed going to the cinema for other movies, and yeah, that's what I want to tell you. Now, how I'm looking at this from an actor perspective, especially someone who's in the beginning of his journey, in the beginning of his career, I'm not scared of it. I don't care if Netflix buys it or Paramount buys it, honestly, because I will have a job. And as long as I will have a job, I will make money. And I can promote myself doing other stuff. Now, if you'll go on my YouTube channel, you'll see a movie that I did by myself, which means one, I have money, as you can pretty much, as you can see, as you can imagine, I will make my own production company, I will make my own movies, obviously, but I'm not threatened by who buys it. I'm more threatened by AI because Disney just put $1 billion into OpenAI, and this will this will take a lot of people's jobs, actors, writers, animators. Yeah, but fuck them too, because low budget cinema will not use AI in the meaning, in the same meaning. Low budget cinema maybe use AI as a concept for a film, but it will not make it as a film. Cinema is a very purist world, as we can see by people like Martin Scorsese, even calling like the Marvel movies not cinema. They are cinema, but it doesn't matter. Listen, I'm not threatened, and my journey is just starting. And yeah, Hollywood can be threatened, but I'm not threatened. I don't think anybody should be threatened, not by the AI, not by who buys the Warner Brothers. You just need to understand, to accept that some things are out of your control. And what is in my control is to promote myself right now as an actor, doing my job, getting better as an actor. That's what I can do, and that's what I'm doing and will do and continue doing. Why? because I love it and it's what I want to do. So I hope you got everything you want from this video, and I hope you liked listening to it. Let me know in the comment what you think. I really want to know. Consider subscribing, liking my YouTube video, liking my YouTube channel, like this video, and go to my Instagram, go to my other stuff. I try to upload as much as possible, and enjoy the journey as always. In Tyler we trust. No? Hell yeah.